and welcome to Crafting with Jane. So we were finishing these off, well, we started these yesterday, or for me yesterday, the other day. You'll see them on your normal Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays that I post. And it was very interesting because we had two exactly the same prints, or exactly the same working with a brayer, with brusho, with colours, etc. And one was on watercolour with lots of spritzing, and the other was on ordinary cardstock, no spritzing. And it's given two totally different looks, which I thought were lovely. Look back on the last video, like and subscribe, hit notifications, you'll always see what's going on. And then you can see, you know, how we started this. And then I thought, okay, fine, we need to finish it. We need to turn it into something. And I thought it needs a bit more. So we are going to be starting with scrap paper, because I need scrap paper. So I'm going to put these off on here. And we're going to use a stencil. So this stencil, any stencil you've got that you think might work. And all I'm going to do is, I've decided I want it sort of a bit at that angle. I'm just going to take it across in a sort of a strip across there. No real sort of rhyme and reason. And I'm choosing colours that complement. So this is sort of a greeny blue, and then there's another sort of a paler one, but I think it comes out a little bit darker. So I thought that we'd work on that rather than the exact same sort of turquoise that we used. So I think this one I'm going to start with this green. And I'm going to be using sponge daubers because they work really well through a mask. So sponge dauber on here. I just need to make sure that I've got not any other colours on there, which I don't think I have, so that should be fine. And I'm literally just, now let me see, one side of a mask is shiny and the other isn't, and it's always better to put it on the shiny side because it's easier then to go through. So I'm literally just going to take this up, right up close to the edge here. Darker in the corner, paler coming in. Take that off, and then I'm going to do exactly the same up on here. I don't even know whether I'm going to put some more ink on here because I'm not sure that I want too much ink, because it's literally just to give a little bit of texture on there. Okay, I think that's quite nice. I might actually just add, doesn't have to be even or anything, I'm just going to add a little bit of extra in on there, on like a double. So again, just going over it. So we've got, that's better. You don't want it completely the same coming through, so I want it on the edges, just a little bit of, and I haven't put any more ink on there, but I just wanted that sort of look to it. So I think that that works nicely on there. This is going to be the other one. So this one is like this. Do I do exactly the same thing with the same one or not? I might try a different, let's try a different one, shall we? We're going to use a different ink. So this time we're going to use this one. And I think I'm going to use just different. I've got a whole bag of masks here, lots and lots and lots of them. And so I just have collected them over the years. Again, the thing of using what you've got. So I've got a couple here that I thought might look quite nice. That sort of green foliage, I think that's going to be a bit busy. I don't want brickwork. I don't want floral like that. I think I'm going to take this one because again, it's something that's a bit different, a different sort of pattern to it, and we'll see how that one goes. So again, use what you've got, play around with different ones and see what happens. And this time we're going to use this one. So I've taken most of the ink off, so I don't need to change the sponge dauber. So again, if you haven't got a lot of sponge daubers, now which is the shiny side on this one? This one. So again, I'm just taking it from the corner. And this is paler one, so I'm doing it, and also we're doing this onto watercolour. So I think it makes it a little bit different on watercolour, but we'll see, because it's watercolour paper is more sort of bobbly. Oh yes, that's quite nice. Just got little bits of it coming out. I think that's quite fun. So again, you don't have to worry about the whole pattern coming out, or you know, working on things like that. This was just taking a little bit of it and seeing how it comes out. Might see if I can get some more on that one to come out. There, you see, they're both just like sort of little bobbly bits on here. I'm just going to see if I can, don't really need it to almost together, but not quite, just a little bit more down on this side, I think. There we are. So we've just got a bit of texture going on here, which I quite like. So that gives it another look, because we're trying to build up some textures and things. So we've got two different things in on here like that. That can go like that, which I think will work. I think will be fine. Then I want to carry on doing some other things, and I've taken some dies. So I thought maybe a dragonfly like that on there. I've got words, so I've got a hello and I've got a cheers, which can come in whichever way I want, and I'm going to just put it in on the circle somehow. I've got these, which I thought they might go in on, yeah, maybe like that on there. That might work, because that'll come in over and add some extra texture on there, maybe. And I've got a little bumblebee on here, so again we could put the bumblebee in where we want. However, we need to do something to these to make them look beautiful. So again, this is cut out of just standard white cardstock, and I thought I would show you, you know, ways that you can colour them in and, you know, add things to them. So I've got some blends or some alcohol markers, but I think I'm going to be using some inks. I've got a couple of inks here. That one definitely. I think that other one's not going to be quite right. And maybe a little bit of a darker one. That one might work. Right, I'm taking just a few and we'll just see how they work, and then we've got some alcohol markers if we need to. Oh, and I need, obviously, bumblebee has got to be black and yellow, but I think for this I'm just going to do some just some markers. So we need, a bumblebee is going to be yellow and black, isn't it? So I'm just going to do some little yellow stripe across there, yellow stripe across there, yellow stripe across there, maybe a little bit like that. And then I'm just going to take this. So again, it's, you know, what you've got. Obviously his little antenna is going to be black, and then I'm just literally striping him across. doing it in sort of a straight line because he would be fairly straight lined. Like that. So that's got that in there. And we're going to change it a bit, so we're going to add some other things to it, but I thought that I would just show you can do it with, you know, some markers. You could do it with alcohol markers. These are water-based markers, and then his wings would be sort of probably a little bit grey, maybe a little bit bluey perhaps. I'm just going to add just a little bit of a, just want to take the blue off just a little bit, I think. So what was that? That was a pale blue on there. This is a bit of a bluey one for wings. I'm just going to do just a little bit on here. Not a lot, just a bit. So that's him done. This one I'm going to take, we want a dark down the middle. So let's choose, I think that's probably my dark. So I'm just going to take dark down on the middle. So that's dark navy down on the middle like that, and just on the end of the wings. Then I'm going to take, you've seen me do these quite a few times, so I'm not spending a huge amount of time. That's going to be this one. So that's a middling sort of turquoise. And I'm just going to take this in and blend this into this one. That's a nice thing, you can blend it back onto the body and down on both sides. And you can see if you do the do it in fairly stiff cardstock. So this is oh, I don't know, it's about 350 GSM. It's quite a heavy one, which I've had for quite a while. I buy it. I go to a craft fair once a year. And in fact, this year I'll be able to take you with me. I'm going to show you some of the lovely things at the craft fair this year. It's a massive, great big exhibition. And there's probably, oh, I don't know, 100 odd stands, 200 odd stands. I'm not very good with numbers, but there's definitely a lot. Okay, so we've now got the dragonfly in different colours, and I'm just going to take it off of the green because I think it's not doing any favours on that green. I might try and find, it was only a scrap that I had. I'm going to do a scrap of white, I think, because there we go. It's easier for you to see it on there than it is on the green. So you can now see the colours coming through beautifully. Now I'm going to use this, something that I really love. So this is gilding wax, and this one is copper. So it's not gold, it's a copper one. And I've had this a long time, but it never, you just need a little bit on your finger. Excuse me. When you get it and it's new, it's quite soft. Mine's older, so it's not quite as soft. And then all you're going to do is to just lightly go over it. Now, you can do it as dark as you want. You can actually cover it and make it a completely copper one, but I don't want to do that. I just want a little bit on there so that it looks really just quite pretty. So I'm just doing it on the wings, doing it a bit over on the body. Just got a little bit stuck in on here where I just took it off. That's it. And it just gives a little bit of a colour. So that's that one. And then I'm going to do the dragonfly as well. And again, you can just take a little bit and just brush it over. Or you can cover it completely. I quite like just doing a little bit of, just brush it over. And as I say, it's the most amazing stuff. I love using it because it just changes the I wonder if you can hear that noise. It's just started absolutely hammering it down with rain, and you can hear it through on my lantern light. There we are. So now you've got this really lovely colour going on. Now I've got these little green ones here, and I think I might just put just a little bit on here as well. Don't want too much, just going up on here. You just want to just catch a little bit, so you can see you're not colouring it too much. You're just doing just a little bit that just gives a hint. As I say, you can use it and cover it completely, so you can have an absolutely gold one if you want to. But I think I'm just going to take this one and just hold it up against there like that. I think, in fact, I might, let's do this as an example. So if you just take it and really put quite a lot on, you can actually turn it and make it a completely gold bumblebee. So I think that'll actually work quite well on this. So I'm just going to take this and cover it completely, so just so you can see the difference in it. And as I say, you can it's the sort of thing, it's like most things with a lot of the craft things that we get. This will last you probably your lifetime, because, you know, I've been using this for, oh, I don't know, I probably bought this 5-6 years ago, and I've just used a little bit, because that's all you use, just a fingerful, and it washes off quite easily. Now I've got this, this is just a piece of kitchen roll, and then all you have to do is to buff it. Now obviously, because this is a tiny little shape, you need to just be very careful and hold it gently, but when you see, it's a bit like when you polish, you know, you just have to buff it with a cloth, and then it gives this lovely, lovely sheen, and it makes it look like a piece of copper. So if I pick that up, I hope you can see that now. Bring it up on here. Yes, you can. You can see, whoops, me falling over it, but I'm bringing it up so you can see. Look at that lovely, lovely copper effect on there, and it's literally just solid. And this one, we're just going to burnish this in a minute, but you can see on this, that's before it's been shined. So you literally take it and just rub it. So I'm doing it down on the body because I had a little bit more on the body. Just rub it gently like that, and then I'm going to use it on this little die cut as well. And say, as long as you hold your die cut down and you're not too overly rough, you can then see on this one, hopefully, if I bring it up there, can you see you've just got that hint? So you get all of those colours coming out, almost as if it was the dragonfly itself. So I don't think I'm going to do any more on there. Let's bring our two pieces back in. And I'm going to put them down on here so we can see them. And I'm going to take this. We want the words. Excuse me a second. So I think I'm going to put this down on there, because I think that might just work in on that corner with the cheers probably coming about halfway through. And then this is going to have the little gold bumblebee just sort of flying through. And again, you know, use what die cuts you've got. This would look lovely with flowers and things, wouldn't it? And then we've got this one, which is literally just going to have the dragonfly coming through. And I think I might just put hello like that down on here. Okay, so let's just get some wet glue out. I'm using up 2 pots, so it's, this is my preferred wet glue of all time. It's Tombow, and Tombow is just the best glue, in my opinion, that you can get. So take the top off. So we've got this lovely dragonfly. I'm putting him on the paler one because I think he'll work better. And the good thing about wet glue, says me, if I can get some of it out, I'm using the last bits up, and it's always when you use your last bits, you're literally just taking your tiny bits. Okay, that might be, I've had it. Let's see if there's any left in this one, and if there isn't, then I'm going to open a new one. I try, oops, yes, there we are. You see, I try and be as frugal as I can. Frugal's probably the wrong word, isn't it? I try and be as cost effective as I can. You know, it's the thing that we all turn around and say, we can't go to a craft shop, we can't go to or whatever without going like, oh, and we can't go out shopping anywhere without seeing colours and prints and designs and thinking, oh, that would make something, oh, I could do something with that. And we then collect. So, you know, I've been collecting stamps for years. But then I get into the situation where I've got so many and they just go up on the shelf and I forget about them because new ones come out and I buy new ones and I think I've got to show everybody all the new ones, etc. And in reality, no, we don't. We can do so much with what we've already got. So this is my mission now, and it seems to be quite popular, so I'm glad that everybody is sort of getting on board with this. Now I'm going to have him, I want him sort of coming out a bit and coming down a bit, so that he's going to just come down like this, and it's just going to stick straight on down like this, which I think is nice. And then I'm going to have the words. Now, I could distress this, I could add something to it. I'm not. I'm just going to keep it exactly as it is, I think, because sometimes you can almost go overboard with it. And I'm guilty of that. I love going overboard with things. I'm somebody who's like, you know, throw it at the card and just keep going and keep going and keep going. And sometimes you go like, whoa, what do they say? Step away from the card. Enough is enough. But I do like, but I do want to have this so that it comes literally just sort of across on here so that it's virtually, there we go, across on there. I think that works quite nicely. This one we're going to have with this on here because I quite like the double texture on there. So just, and again, you know, if you're like me, I have little boxes of dies and things that I just go, I haven't used that one for a while. I haven't used this one for a while. And in fact, I was looking for words, and this is in one of the word dies that I had. It just had this little bit of foliage in here, and I thought, oh, that's quite nice. I'll cut that out of the same colour that I was using, and then it will work quite well. So, but you can see, as I say, you don't need to do all this double-sided tape, etc. If you just use this wet glue, it works really well. And I'm going to take that right down to the bottom, and I'm going to have it coming up. So we've got just a little bit coming through on here, because then that gives a bit of interest down on there. The words are going to come down on the bottom of this one. And then you'll have to, at the end, you'll have to, I love your comments. As you know, I have some really lovely people who comment all the time on every single post that I do, and it's so appreciated. So you're going to have to let me know which one you prefer, whether you prefer the watercolour one or whether you prefer the cardstock. The cardstock one. Now for me, I think I actually prefer the cardstock one. I do like this little bumblebee, and again he's just going to go down with wet glue. You can put dimensionals and things up if you want to, but I know that, and it's not just in the UK, it's around the world, because you keep telling me that postage is going up everywhere. So, you know, we start sticking loads of dimensionals and twinkly things, foam pads, build it up, build it up, build it up, and you then have cost yourself an extra £1 or so on your card. So he's just going to go up at a bit of a jaunty angle just through the middle. So we've got all of that in on the background. So we've now got two different styles, all sorts of textures and things going on. And I've got a card blank here. So we can put it on like this. Now you can't see, it's not as if it's got a mat or something on it. So what we can do is we can take, so there's two things. We can either sponge around the sides, we can use a pen to go around the sides to give it a border. It's entirely up to you what you want to do. Now I think I'm going to use, let me see if I've got a, I think I've got a dark, here we go. Right, so I've got a marker here, which is, I think will work. Let's do it on this one first. So all I'm going to do is just run it along the edge. And then run it along the edge here. Run it along the edge, and because we're using a pen, it means that it's you're getting a straight edge anyway. So that's just making sure I've got round the corners, because the corners are the bits that show. Okay, so that one can then go in like that, and you've then got your little frame round there without having to do anything with it too much. Although this one isn't as busy looking as this one. So this one, I think I'm going to do just this. So I'm just going to take this round the edges, which just gives it, stops the edges being white. And I don't want to use a sponge dauber or anything on there, because I just want a very clean, sharp line on here. That up here. So this one I'm loving. I think this one is lovely. I'm not too sure on the other one. I think it doesn't look quite balanced at the moment. So I think I might have to do something with that, but I'm not quite sure what yet. So take that up in here. Make sure we've got it right up on these corners. And then if I put this down, you can see you've got a nice little border on here, which just gives a little bit. So I like that one. I think that one works really well. This one, I don't think it's, I think I needed to have put the butterfly or the dragonfly down in the bottom a bit. I need something down here in the corner. So I'm going to, what can I put in the corner? That one works perfectly. So this one, we just need something to come round here. So I think I'm going to, what am I going to put down there? I could put some, oh, there's me using some, I've still got gold on my finger. I think I'm just going to put some, and there's me saying I don't want to have any height. I don't want to have any height, but I think I need to just have something down on here. Now I could take the, which mask was I using? This one. I could take this mask down on here, and let's take the ink again. I think that's the right one. And I'm just going to just add a bit of colour in on here. In fact, I think it's a different colour, but that doesn't matter because I think just by doing this in the corner, it will add that contrast. And in fact, I'm going to take a little bit up on here. I'm not going to add any more ink to it. And just do that. That's better. Okay, so immediately, just by doing that, it's balanced it. So we've got that coming down, and then that works perfectly. I might actually put some more. I do quite like this gold. I might just put a little mount on this one and put it in and maybe just cut it down a bit. But you'll see that on the front. This is just to give you the ideas of how we took two very similar things and we've just finished it off doing it slightly differently. So I hope you enjoyed it. As always, please stay safe and well. Please be kind and look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye.